Welcome to Retalk Podcast. This is I. Give thanks to all who engage with the channel, whether you like or dislike, share, subscribe or comment. Give thanks. Guys, if you like or watch a video, don't be afraid to engage in the comment section. We will answer any questions here. For now, I upload once per week, so go ahead and hit that notification bell to know once I have uploaded. Now let's get into the video. So, as you can see the topic today, a man should always protect his last name. So let's talk on that. What do I mean by protecting his last name? This is basically the same thing as protecting his seed. So basically, if you don't protect your seed, you don't protect your last name. If you don't protect your seed, anybody basically is like you're free for all. You don't have no standard, you don't have no values basically, and a lot of the times this can result to paternity fraud, and this is what a lot of men or males suffer from, because you see. And you can ask the question, why do men get paternity fraud? And you can answer the question by saying, well, it's because they don't have no standard and no self-esteem. It's basically simple. When you don't properly vet the woman you are dealing with, when you don't have the proper mindset, you won't think about certain things, like your rules and your laws. So you become an easy target for certain kind of woman who decide, so right now, may I take advantage and weakness and see what I want. And this guy, him not no sense. Them take advantage of your weak mindset. You have to understand, say, women love sex. They'll have multiple men if they choose to. Right? And you might say, well, no, women aren't like that. They're innocent little angels who just want their Prince Charming to swoop them up and ride them off into the sunset happily ever after. You would be so delusional if you think that, and this is where you lose, because you're sold a bag of goods of Disney fairy tale that you ate all up, which led you to believe these things, so you fall victim to this fairy tale idea. And the thing is that most women have an abundance mindset, while most men have a scarcity mindset, meaning that women will have multiple guys for multiple purposes. They'll have their chauffeur, the guy who helps pay their bills, the guy who takes she and her friends out to dinner, the guy who gives them gifts, the guy who she can call and cry and complain to, and the guy who blows her back out. While on the other hand, the guy who has a scarcity mindset, he don't understand women, so he's afraid and nervous when he's talking to them. Therefore, he's inexperienced. So the moment he get a girl he want, as soon as him get a girl, basically he want to lock her down. You want an exclusive relationship instantly, and this leaves him having unprotected sex and ejaculating possibly in her, because subconsciously this is how nature defeat. This nature default set you to procreate, to keep the species going. You have to understand that, because that's how nature working. Nature is a powerful force, and if you don't know how to maneuver with nature, is either you control or nature control. Right? you guys are just alright case because of the lack of standards and values. So you don't protect your seed or your last name. So when you get with a girl, she become your girl within a month. Unless a month or less. You know? She become a girl within a month or less. And you start having unprotected sex, not knowing if this girl is worth having your child. Is she worthy? You ever ask yourself that question? No. I'm just curious. The moment you have unprotected sex with anyone at all, it's possible for a child to come, well, any female, it's possible for a child to come in the picture. So, especially if that woman wants a child, because you might not want a child, but even though you having unprotected sex, but she wants it. But how do you know what she would do in a situation where your seed enter? You don't know, so you don't do it. Basically, both of you have to be on the same page based off of your standard and your rules and your laws. And in that case, you wouldn't be having unprotected sex with someone who isn't going to be your wife and having your children. Guys, listen. The vetting process is the most important thing to do before and when dealing with a woman you want to take serious, and you have to know why you want to take her serious in the first place. This will match up with the kind of man you are and what you want from a woman. So if you don't want kids, you won't get any because that woman would already be on the same page as you. So even if something were to happen, there would already be a process to mitigate any unwanted issue. It's in a woman's nature. It's in the woman's nature to pick the best man that is available to provide for her and the child or children. And if that means she has to trick that man into doing so, she will. It's all about survival. In other cases, a lot of the time, these women will be just having unprotected sex with multiple men, and these men are ejaculating because of their low self-esteem. So what happens is that she will sometimes know who the father is, but that guy isn't the best out of the lot. So she tells the best one to ejaculate in her, so he thinks that he is the father. Or in other cases, she can manually impregnate herself with the best guy's semen if he didn't ejaculate in her because she wants him to be the father. For example, a lot of people heard about the situation with Drake where he poured hot sauce in the condom after he had sex with this girl, but she never knew, and then went in the bathroom and tried to impregnate herself with the seed, not knowing it was hot sauce. And you can imagine how that went down. And that's game because Drake had a strategy to avoid any slip-ups on the woman's end. And that's game because Drake has a strategy to avoid any slip-up on the woman's end, which most guys don't think about. So even though he didn't properly vet the woman, he had a what-if plan, which worked perfectly. I have a friend told me that this one time he had an unprotected sex with this girl, and when he was about to bust, she locked him in with her legs, and like they were in an octagon, and he basically like a MMA fight. She even tap out. She acted all surprised, and he gave her money for a plan B, and a couple of weeks later she called him to the boy pregnant, which actually wasn't, but she wanted to use him to get more money. Moral of the story is that if he shouldn't be fucking her. Moral of the story is that he shouldn't be fucking ancient women in the first place, nor should he have had sex, casual sex, unprotected. When you have game, there isn't any unwanted pregnancy because you know what you're about, who you are, and you will only deal with women who align with your rules and laws. No, you can't always take the easy way with the victim mindset and blame women for these situations, but you can't blame women. The unfortunate thing about this careless situation is that the children in this is the ones who are the victims. And the end of the day, because they didn't ask to come in this world, they didn't ask to be there, they end up being called names like bastard and all these derogatory returns just because of bad choices, poor decision making from adult children. You can't call it a mistake or say it just happened. No, it was an uncalculated poor choice that both parties made out of emotional. They made poor choices out of emotion in the moment. When you're a man with standards, rules, and laws, everything you do is calculated and thorough. There is no mistake with men who have game. It's either you do or you don't. Guys, stop having unprotected sex. Stop having sex unprotected and jumping in a relationship with ain't shit females. But here's the thing. You are what you attract. So you're also ain't shit. See that? So there lies a problem. You need to work on yourself. You need to become the shit. You need to develop your standards and rules and laws and codes where you live by. And stand on that. And you don't compromise because she's a baddie and she's a 10, or because she, I don't know, whatever that would make you fold as a man and come off of your square. You just don't do it. You know who you are and stand on who you are. It all comes down to being aware of the red flags from the jump to avoid being in this position, and that comes from vetting these women and holding yourself to a standard. Guys, always remember that we only get one chance at life, and you should always live it abundantly. Always remember the cemetery. Everyone there thought they had tomorrow promised to them, but they didn't. Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for your support. I appreciate everyone who stopped by,